Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Zbricks Show. My name's Zach. I'll be your host, and tonight I'm going to be talking to Ray Griffith, otherwise known as Funny Figs. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Hey, thanks for having me. My name is Raymond Griffith, as you said, or Ray for short, and I'm a cartoon, comic, and caricature artist. And my little claim to fame in the Lego community is the fact that I do what I call funny figs, which is where, the business name comes from. Exaggerated caricature portraits done in a Lego style. So basically, I take the minifig and I blow the head up. Because, why not?
Yeah. Awesome.
And, I've been doing that for almost 5 years now, and I did it back when, conventions were a thing. I would go to all kinds of shows. I've done a Brick Fair, I've done Brick Universe, I've done Brick Fest, I've done Brick Slopes, I've done Brick... I can't even remember all the bricks.
A lot of
There's
things.
too many of them. Whichever one was up in Seattle. But that's kind of my connection to the Lego community. But I also do artwork outside of that. Like I said, I am a budding comic artist. I've just released my very first book. It's called Astounding Tales. And, released is a strong word. We've opened the pre-orders for it. I'm still working on the pages as we speak. In fact, I've got my tablet open right next to me, and I'm doing a little doodling as we talk, just because I've got that much work to do.
Well, his work can also it'll be found on Instagram and YouTube. I'll have both of those linked as per usual, and I can link your website too, so that'll be down there. He sells all sorts of cool stuff. You can get he already does like some fictional caricatures and stuff, but you can also order like personalized ones, and I think they're out of stock right now, but he's got Bionicle stickers too, which are pretty cool. So I don't know if those will be going back in stock anytime soon.
Mid-May. It's coming.
Very awesome.
Let's just say
but they're all great.
Maybe some new things in the works as well.
That's good to know. But, and that book too, I'd like to talk a little bit about that because that's really interesting to me. If you don't know, which I think I've told you, but they may not know, I personally have written a novella that I want to get published online at some point, maybe do physical pre-orders for it. But it's actually in the works right now. Today was actually, I didn't plan this, so like coincide with what we're talking about. But today was the release of the book sample for it. I don't think I talked much about it on my Instagram, but it was on the other one. But that's really interesting to me. That. Yeah, I don't think I said much about it on the Lego Instagram. I think it was more on my personal one. But it's so cool hearing that you're now taking that next step to publishing your first work. And that was on Kickstarter. How about you just tell us a little bit about the process? What did that look like for you?
Well, it looked like I spent 2 months of my life doing that and nothing else, basically. So we ended up raising over $5,000 from almost 200 backers, 193. And actually, if you count the people who backed out, it was 199. But we're not going to split hairs on that. It was quite a journey. And the thing is, I've always wanted to create stories. Like, I'm sure you're the same way, always making up worlds in my head. I've always got a little adventure going whenever I'm bored. But I never put pen to paper. And I would always say, I want to make comics someday. That's my dream. And this last year, it's really what pushed me to open up and say, you know what? I may not have as much time as I think I do. Things can go haywire at a moment's notice. I need to just do this. This is the year to do it, right?
Yeah.
So that's when the plans began. And I, the way I worked up to it, I didn't just start out doing this book. I started doing smaller stories for other people that were published in small anthologies, so I could kind of get the lay of the land for how Kickstarter works. And I don't know how in depth you want me to go on Kickstarter, but believe me, I can go in depth if you want to know the details.
Is it like I mean, we don't need all the gritty information, but is it like, how complicated was that process?
It's marketing is what it is. So the actual setting up of a Kickstarter page, not too difficult. The actual building of the rewards and all that, not too crazy if you go and study what other people have done. And this doesn't just apply to comics. It applies to any genre, book, or whatever. Go and look at what the successful people have done and just copy it. Honestly, that's the secret there. But the hard part is you have to reach out. And this is something I figured out this year. nobody knows what you're doing, and nobody cares what you're doing, and it's not personal. They just don't care. You have to make them care. You have to tell them what you're doing, and you have to tell them a lot. So for the last 2 months, I have been posting 5 or 6 times every single day on every single social media known to man. I've also been doing personal emails. I have an email list, almost like 1,000 active people on it now, that I'm sending out emails, not every day, but like every week at the very least.
I can confirm this.
Yes.
I get emails from you all the time.
Hopefully those weren't too annoying for you.
No, they're fine. It's the healthcare ones and the whatever other scam ones that get me. Mm-hmm. Yours are fine.
I am a prince here to give you money. Please give me your bank account. But yeah, and you know, and part of the trick is you can't just be like, hey, check out my thing. You've got to make it interesting to the people. So you have to make it relevant to their lives. Say, what would someone else find interesting about this? Maybe I can give you a little insight into the process. Maybe I can tell you a funny story about it. Maybe I can, not even anything related to my story, I just give you a recommendation of something I enjoy. You know, it's just a way to connect with people, create that connection, and then grow from there and say, oh, and by the way, this is something that's going on in my life. This is why it's important to me. This is what I'm doing it for, and hey, will you help support me? So you have to build up to it. You don't go straight in. You don't ask right away, hey, I need money from you. No, it'll never work. No one will do it. So that's kind of the secret, the method of the madness, and that's a lot of what I was doing that first month. And then obviously building the graphics and all, actually drawing the stuff.
Yeah.
I think I did like 5 or 6 complete illustrations by the end of it. I also made a minute-long commercial, which was fun to do. And yeah, this was a full-time job.
Yeah.
The week after we finished, I completely just, I laid down, and I don't think I got back up. I haven't made a social media post in 3 or 4 days. I just kind of relaxed. I'm trying to get back on that horse now. I looked at the calendar, and I was like, it must have been at least 3 or 4 weeks since I've done anything. Oh, it's only been a week, so that's a good thing. But it still feels like I've been slacking so hard because I haven't been doing something every single day.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I'm taking over.
No worries. But I did want to ask, I kind of understand it, but everyone else might not. And I just now realized that we hadn't really explained this, but what is Astounding Tales?
Oh. Yeah, should we actually explain
what is this thing we're talking about?
So the elevator pitch is that it's a golden age comic brought into the modern age. So it's old school superhero style storytelling where the good guy is good, the evil guys are evil, and there's not a lot of not a lot of gray going on there. It's a story about a young girl named Billy who discovers she's secretly an android and then immediately uses her powers to beat up giant monsters. And I mean, that's the short and sweet of it. And yeah, it's not the deepest storytelling ever, but also we have some things to say. It's not, there are social issues we're going to address and, things that we have an opinion on. But the thrust of the story is really, hey, let's just have some fun. Comics are for fun. It's okay to just have a cool visual sometimes. If you watch King Kong versus Godzilla, hey, this is the comic for you.
Yeah. I haven't gotten around to seeing it yet, but I have the HBO Max, so I plan on seeing it very soon.
Not the most philosophical film you've ever watched.
I wouldn't doubt that. It just seems like a bad guy versus good guy, fight, destroy city kind of movie. But there's nothing wrong with that. That's just a fun time.
And those are the kinds of stories we enjoy. That's why we keep telling them. And that's kind of where we're at. And, it's not that I don't enjoy the grim and gritty stories of Watchmen and Batman and all that. And, the bad guys getting what for. But sometimes you just want a little cake. It doesn't always have to be red meat.
Yeah. But, yeah, absolutely. It seems very interesting. And, he's talked about it a lot on his Instagram, and I don't know how much you've talked about it on your YouTube, but
so much.
there's a lot on his Instagram, so you can see it all there, and that's just linked below.
That was that social media campaign, just 2 months of constant information to people.
My entire feed is just pictures of Billy for a month.
About that.
But
I'm about to add another one tonight. I just finished a new one.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. I would show it off, but I can't share the screen, unfortunately. So you just have to wait.
Yeah? So when did you start building with Lego, and what were some of your first sets?
Well, I I started building Lego when I was 5 years old, and we were that family who grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, so I never had sets per se, but I had garbage bags. We would scrounge the yard sales around town, and there was always someone who had old Lego they were trying to get rid of, and so we'd just pull in the bags, throw them in the bucket. I have a lot of fond memories of those pieces, and couldn't tell you what sets they're from, but like I had a yellow tube piece that was really useful. I had lots of chromed harpoons that I really enjoyed using. You know,
Those are cool pieces. I use those too.
I think my first actual set was what are they called? Robo Raiders, I want to say. Like 95, 96. I don't know if you know, they had like little control panels that you could slip into the the box piece that opens like a safe.
Yeah.
But it's got a little like a slot at the top, and you can slide
like a little mailbox.
1x2 tile. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my favorite feature. They had a lot of orange neon. It wasn't an Ice Planet, but it's kind of the same kind of feel. You know what I mean?
Like Rock Raiders?
Chainsaws. Not Rock Raiders, but I think it was Robo Raiders. I can't even remember what the theme is called anymore. I honestly couldn't.
Was it like a space theme or like a?
Yeah, it was a space theme, and it had robots and like
Interesting.
you know they just came out with like an anniversary set with a robot with a transparent helmet. Excuse me. And it's an homage to a robot from that line, I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. Boy, I should have done research, huh?
No worries.
Early 90s, someone knows what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
someone
no,
will point it out.
Raiders. Oh, no, I see what it is. The set I had was called Robo Raider. 2151 Robo Raider. Let's see what the theme is. Let's see. Action adventure. It doesn't have a name. Oh, Robo Force. Okay.
Robo Force. I haven't heard of that one.
Well, they're my favorites, and they were on the nostalgia list, the nostalgia vote that Lego recently did. They didn't win. I don't know how. But yeah, look this guy up. He's super cool. It has the transparent orange chainsaw. It has the little mailbox piece and the thing you can slide in the slot. And boy, I remember playing with that so much.
Let me see if I can pull up a picture on my end.
Sure.
Robo Force.
You're going to be very unimpressed. You're going to be like, really? That's
Let's see. So when was this, like 96? Is that what you said?
I don't know. Yeah, it had to have been because that's when I had it. It's set 2151.
Let's see. It's still loading. But, yeah. So, when did you, like, really enter the Lego community? Like, I understand that you were doing, like, the Lego, like, the caricatures. But, like, when did you really get involved with the community online? How did that happen?
Now, I actually got involved with the community way before any of the caricatures got involved. So, yeah, I had the random pieces and all that when I was a kid, but I never really got into Lego proper until I was about 13. And it was a little line you may be familiar with. It was called Bionicle. I don't know if you know that one.
It kind of rings a bell, but I don't know. I'd have to think on it for a while.
It's one that most people would not really consider Lego, actually, which is what's funny about it. Because if you would ask me, even 10 years ago, I really wouldn't have called myself a Lego fan. I would have called myself a Bionicle fan. And, Lego made it, of course, but that's not what I cared about. And I was into that. There was a little website called BZ Power. I don't know if you're familiar with it at all.
No.
It's got a history. But back in the day, that was the place to be if you were a Bionicle fan. That was the hub. Like, anyone who was anyone was on there. And I actually managed to rise into the ranks of a staff member there, which gave me, huge internet notoriety. Gosh, I mean, that guy, he's a moderator on a forum. He's a big deal, right? But it led me to a really cool group of friends, and we actually ended up meeting together when I was 16. We all met up at Brick Fair, Virginia. And that's probably where I would consider myself, like, becoming a real Lego fan, because then I see the phenomenon that it is. I get the experience. Have you ever been to a convention? I'm sure you have.
I was going to go last year, but, there's this thing, I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's called COVID-19, and it kind of happened, and I'm waiting for the next one, is my point.
I haven't heard of it.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a real shame. Because I got to tell you, going to a brick fair is an experience, and like over the years, I've gone probably almost 10 times. I haven't hit every year, but for a while there, I did every single year: 2016, 2017, or 2006, 2017, and so on and so forth. And I would often bring people with me who weren't even Lego fans, and even they would have a great time just because it's such a unique communal experience, and it has almost nothing to do even with the company itself. It's just the creativity, seeing other people's work come together, and like getting to really dig in with people who know what you're talking about. That's what was so fascinating about it, I think.
Yeah.
And so anyway, at 16, my first job I got was actually a caricature artist at a theme park. I'd always been an artist, and it was something I wanted to do for a living. Not necessarily as a caricature artist, but when you're 16, that's the only job you're going to get as an artist, right?
Yeah.
And it was something I continued to do. I did end up going to college. I do have a degree, but at the time I had reached such a level with it that I wasn't able to just do it, but I could manage other people. And so we kind of, me and another guy started running the business together. And at the point, this kind of went for, I guess it was about 10 years at that point. At 2015, we were looking for places to expand. We were exploring new areas, and we were like, conventions would be cool.
Yeah.
People do characters at conventions, that happens. And, I'd been going to these Lego conventions for, 10 years now. Why not just try it there? So we kind of explored that. It's a little difficult to do a caricature of a person as a Lego or as a minifig because there are no noses, there are no chins, there are no ears.
Then you gotta find like the hair too, and it's like you gotta get that Lego-esque thing.
Yeah, you gotta make them chunky. You gotta make them like a plastic brick on the head. And,
chunky.
And that's pretty much all you got to work with is a pair of eyes, a little bit of a smile, and a hair, and you gotta use all that to make it actually look like them. But I managed to get it to a level where I thought we could sell it. I'm not saying it was good, but it was sellable. And there happened to be a convention that was happening that year called Brick Universe, and it was their first year. This was up in North Carolina, and we thought, man, what a perfect confluence. Like, I don't want to jump right into the big ones, the big dogs, Brick Fair and all that. I want to try something smaller, so let's go do this new convention. It is a bit of a drive, North Carolina to Oklahoma. It's about 25 hours. Not that I kept track, but... but I ended up going there. I did a few prints of pre-made characters. Like I did a Unikitty with a big blown-up head, an Emmet, Superman, Batman, that sort of thing. Brought a stack, a few of those, and then just set up my table and started drawing. We didn't know what to expect. It could have been that I would have made no money. But as it turned out, it did really well. Like, way better than I had expected well. So that became my job. It was like, well, if this went well this time, we can do it again. And so for the next few years, I did every brick universe there was. Like I said, I have a list 20 deep of brick insert name here shows I've done. Not all of them have been successful. I found out, who's not my customers? AFOLs. They don't like my stuff, but parents with actual children who play with Lego, they love it. So,
yeah.
Actually, it's ironic because I finally ended up doing a brick fair, and I do 2 brick fairs, Virginia and Alabama. Alabama does okay, but Virginia, I did nothing because that's like where the AFOLs are. They don't care about anything that I'm doing. They're like, you go away now. But that's all right.
They're in it for the bricks.
Hmm?
They're in it for the bricks.
Yeah, they are. They don't care about anything that's not Lego made, Lego brand. Believe me, it's only a little bit of a cult.
Yeah. Just kind of makes me think, I was talking with Chris from Bricks on the $1 the other day, and I don't know if you're familiar with Kevin Hinkle used to do AFOL posters, AFOL shirts. For Chris.
From that service, actually, they weren't interested in my artwork either.
Yeah, that's interesting. But I
applied. They weren't interested.
So you have a history with them?
No, I mean, I know Chris, like, not directly, but I know him as a person. You know what I mean? And it seems like a good guy. So I have no ill will. It wouldn't have been a good fit. They were right. Yeah. But yeah, I'm very familiar with the service. I was kind of sad to see it didn't work out. I thought it was a really cool idea.
But yeah, he was telling me that they're bringing back AFOL posters. They're having their first one release in I think like 2 years next month, which is Pirates themed, classic Pirates. But he was telling me that they don't sell well, and that's why they haven't been doing them. But that's interesting to hear. I hadn't really thought about that until you said that. But I guess AFOLs are just they're not as interested in that sort of stuff.
No, it's
even
not.
though
It's
that's
not the right
what
market.
it was marketed towards. I feel like shirts is one thing more so because you go to a convention, it's kind of cool to wear a monorail shirt or a Bionicle shirt or something. And I saw that you were doing shirts too recently, but
yeah, and they've done okay. I do agree. I think shirts do well. I've seen a lot of people doing them, and I didn't he have a shirt in a box service at one point?
He had AFOL shirts, and I think Kevin was the one that was designing all of them. I could be wrong on that, but I think it was all Kevin and Chris.
Yeah, I was always surprised that didn't work out. I thought that would have been really popular.
I
But
thought
yeah,
it was
I
pretty
agree.
popular until they shut it down.
Well, I mean, if it was really popular, they wouldn't shut it down, right?
Yeah.
If it's working, you don't stop it.
I was like, I see people wearing them on streams and stuff, but those are still up on Amazon though, and they are pretty cool shirts.
Yeah.
Some cool designs.
Maybe it was just the subscription model that didn't work, but
I don't know.
I know you didn't come here to talk business. You came here to talk plastics, so.
I'm willing to talk whatever. Honestly, it's kind of nice to get a break from just talking about plastic bricks. This kind of stuff is interesting, but yeah. So you talked about Bionicle and all that stuff, and you obviously have the stickers. So yeah, you're one of the Bionicle fans. You're part of that cult.
I'm an OG fan. I was there since the beginning. I had Tahu. That was my very first Bionicle set, and at a point in my life, I had every single Bionicle set. I'm not gonna say that's still true, but at a certain point, it was.
Have you heard of a man named L.J. Johnson? Does that ring a bell?
I know the name. I don't know a lot about him. Don't they run a TTV or something?
He is part of the TTV, but on his YouTube channel, he is famous for having reviewed every Lego Bionicle set ever. And I don't know. I think he's probably up there on your level of Bionicle fan. He's a big Bionicle fan.
I believe it.
But,
there's so many people who outshine me like to an amazing degree. I'm sure you know Bionicle lore runs deep.
Yes.
It runs very deep.
I've heard plenty.
Yeah, there are people who know every single story detail. I can give you a great broad overview, but I cannot dig in the way some people can.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm kind of like that with Ninjago. That's kind of my thing. But I was
gonna bring that up.
Yeah, that's kind of my forte. I'm one of the crazy Ninjago fans. I kind of have like an inner circle of it's basically like me, Titanium J52, and Jinblade 8304, and we do like Ninjago content whenever. Like I think we did a 10-year anniversary stream in January. That was an hour and a half long of us just talking about Ninjago.
So how do you like the Ninjago movie? It was pretty good, right?
The Ninjago movie
really
was a disappointment.
True to the theme, right?
The movie, I'll just put it this way: it's the worst Lego movie. It's easily. It's not the best. I don't know how familiar you are with Ninjago, but it does little to no justice to the show, and that was the worst part of it. But that's whatever. I kind of forgot it existed until you brought it up. So
I'll never let you forget.
but yeah. But back to like Bionicle and stuff, and like I didn't grow up with Bionicle. I grew up with Hero Factory, and see, I expected that reaction, but Hero Factory, that was where it was at when I was I don't know how old I was when that came out.
Yeah.
When was that? But there was some cool stuff from that. And I forgot to mention, I got this picture up. I think it's what you're talking about. Is it the one with the big yellow head or the orange head? The Robo set.
The Robot Raider?
Yeah, Robot Raider.
Or Robo Raider, whatever he was. He's got, it's not either of the huge ones. It's the littlest one. And I didn't realize this until I looked it up. It's the $12 set. That kind of tells you where my family was at. Like, that was a big gift for me, getting the $12 set.
Robo Raptor?
No, Robo Raider.
Robo Raider. Oh, I see it. That is a cool set.
Little one.
That is a cool
Yeah,
design, though.
Little shifty legs that went like this.
Yeah, that's a kind of a cool feature.
Yeah, I thought. You know what? And now that I'm looking at the other ones, like I remember lovingly staring at them in Lego magazines. But I never owned any of these big ones.
Yeah,
wasn't that lucky.
that is a cool set, though. I like what are they, like little scoop pieces? The little black pauldrons? Those are kind of cool.
Yeah.
They look like little, like, I don't know, you'd see them on like a construction thing. But that is pretty neat set.
What I like about these is how neon everything is. Like, they've clearly put them under a black light when they took the picture. And these are pictures that were taken. They're not renders like they are these days. I really enjoy that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a neat looking theme. There's some very interesting ones, like very like animal-esque designs. There's like a raptor one, which is very interesting. But yeah, these are cool. This one has like a disco ball head. It's like big, and it's got like a tail. I don't get it. Cool though. But anyways, yeah. So other than Bionicle and because that's obviously probably your favorite Lego theme, what are your other like favorite like modern Lego themes?
So I have transitioned a little bit into traditional sets. I don't have a lot of them, but I enjoy a superhero set here and there, and I do have the Voltron that came out recently.
Interesting.
And I gotta tell you, transforming robots and Lego together, that was not a day one purchase, but I had that on my list every day, and I was always checking, hey, is this on sale yet? Is it on sale? Oh, hey, it's on sale. And then I got it.
That is a very cool set.
Oh yeah, it's incredible, the engineering, and I'm trying to think what my newest set I've gotten is. Not Voltron. I think I picked up the Miles Morales little minifig, like
the little mech.
Pack. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's a cool little set.
I thought it looked pretty cool. But like I said, I do have a few of the superhero stuff. As far as the other modern stuff that's come out, none of it really speaks to me, but that's something that I don't think is a bad thing, and that's what differentiates me from a lot of adult fans of Lego, because I actually understand that these are not made for me; they're made for, wait for it, children.
Who would have thought that when the box says like ages 8 and up, it means it's for ages 8 and up?
Right.
So that is a little bit of a controversial opinion, but especially among AFOLs. Who some of them would probably do some fisticuffs with you on that one, but there's some crazy ones out there. But
what annoys me about it, I do want to say really quick, is that I think the Lego company also disagrees with me these days, because they've started doing that thing where the backgrounds are just black.
Oh yeah.
And like for a Sesame Street set.
Yeah, that didn't make much sense.
Who is this for? What?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's for the nostalgic adults, but you really don't think that would be the main market? Like, don't they do that for the Winnie the Pooh set too? What?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
That's weird. And they're not even that complicated from what I hear people say. Now, it's like, and this is another example that's just kind of an obscure one, but you know how they do the Christmas set every year? The Christmas Village set? Well, the latest one is now an 18+ set, the Elf Clubhouse. It's an Elf Clubhouse, and it's only for adults. Interesting.
That's very strange.
But I can see some of them being like 18+, like a mosaic. I probably don't know any 6-year-olds that want to put like a bunch of studs on a thing and just say, I'm done. Or even the helmets. I have a friend whose younger brother, I think he's in 7th grade, has some of the helmets. But, I mean, even the helmets, I can see, you can label that as an 18+ set. But yeah, you're definitely right on the Sesame Street, Winnie the Pooh, that kind of stuff doesn't really make sense. Maybe I can see like 16+, 10+, if they're gonna make it a complicated set. But it really is a kid's toy. It's a plastic brick building system. At best for an adult, it's a hobby. It's some people's lives. Yeah. Actually, it's a lot of people I know's lives. Let's be honest. Well, I mean, I guess if you're like selling it and stuff like that.
I know a good number of people that's their entire business. That's all they do for a living. Is sell Lego. But,
but I know people on Bricklink. People. I mean, you look at Chris. I mean, Bricks on the Dollar again, who's got a brick and mortar store. But yeah, I mean, it is some people's lives. But if you're just doing it as a hobby, I mean, it is a kid's toy, and you're playing with it as a person who's building Lego in their basement every day.
Okay, Will Ferrell. The working system.
But
it's not a toy.
it's sophisticated interlocking.
Yeah, system. And I don't want to say there's anything wrong with playing with the toys. I think that just fosters imagination. I don't think there's anything wrong with staying in tune with, your inner child. There's nothing wrong with that. I have no problems with that. I think it's weird to market these things to adults. Mm-hmm. And, obviously, this is a $1 billion company. They probably know better than me, but I don't know. We'll see. As always, the time will tell. So if they continue to do this, we'll see. Hey, it works. If not, then we'll know.
Well, let me put this way. This is an interesting conversation, and I kind of want to put a question on you, put you on the hot seat here. Sure. So, 18 plus. We've seen them do some themes of some stuff it's not as kid friendly shows or movies. I mean, we've seen Stranger Things. We saw, I mean, this was virtually nothing, but we saw an A-Team accessory pack for Lego Dimensions. What if they use Lego 18 Plus as a way to create themes or deliver sets to you from movies, TV shows you really like that normally they wouldn't do if it was just a kid's toy? Would you change your mind about that?
Are you talking a 007 set, for example?
Yeah, stuff like that.
The stuff they've been doing. I think, or I hear this back when Game of Thrones was huge, everyone wanted a Game of Thrones set or something of that caliber. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Here's what I think about that. I think people would love it. I think the investors and the big money behind Lego would say this is a brilliant move. I think it would be the dumbest thing they could do for long-term brand integrity. Because I will make this argument to you that the only reason Lego has stuck around the way it has is because it's such a strong family-friendly brand.
That is true.
If you're a parent and you're picking up this toy, you're picking it up because you know it's going to be safe, you know it's going to be appropriate, you know there's not going to be any questionable material in it whatsoever, and I am a parent, so for the record, these are the kinds of things I think about when I'm looking at other toys, franchises. I'll ask myself, is this something I want for my child? And if the answer isn't unequivocally yes, then I may not pick it up. And if they went that direction, like I said, people would love it. They'd probably sell a lot of it. I don't know that it would be a good move, but that's just me.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. And they do have rules about that kind of stuff. For those who don't know,
had them,
yes, yes, for a long time. I don't know how long the rules have been around that they go by, but they have some very strict policies, like no realistic guns, no military stuff. I mean, we saw what happened to that Boeing helicopter last year. Did you hear about that?
The Osprey, is that what you're
yes,
talking about?
the one that got canceled, when it was on shelves, canceled. The day it was supposed to release or whatever. And they just took back all the copies.
The company falling apart, right? The miscommunication somewhere, because it should never have gotten that far.
It should never have even been, if it was going to be taken back that late, when the idea was proposed, it should have been a no. Someone messed up.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably messed up on that one. And we've seen some other sets like that they got taken back, for no reason. Did you hear about this latest Lego City one? That's another one. The one that looks like
hideout?
Yeah. That's another interesting one. If y'all don't know, it's basically it uses the road plate system, but it's like a red brick building, and it has a giant stick of dynamite on top. And the idea is it's like a bomb factory. So
yeah.
I don't think that one's as bad, but it's still questionable. I saw people making this kind of terrorism stuff, and it's it is a bomb factory.
They have this brand that they do have to consider. They have to protect. It may not be that harmful itself, but as an aggregate, a parent starts seeing stuff like that on the shelves, and they might start thinking, well, Lego likes violence. All right, I don't know if whatever.
Yeah.
And even with stuff like Star Wars, I always kind of wonder how that affects the perception. But I guess Star Wars is family friendly enough.
Yeah,
People don't seem to care.
I mean, they've transferred to the PG-13 rating as of episode 3, but it's, I mean, parents will take their, 8-year-old kid to see it. They don't care. Star Wars, Marvel, that sort of stuff, that's not, I don't think that really falls under the same problems as some of the other stuff. Some of the other licenses, like James Bond, another PG-13 franchise.
Right.
But,
and I want to say for the record, I don't have any problem with these franchises. It doesn't bother me personally.
Oh, it doesn't bother me either.
Worry about the brand itself, and even then, I don't really worry about it because whatever. It's not my horse,
Yeah.
But if I were in charge of the company, I might be taking a little closer look at that before I put my rubber stamp on it. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Yeah. I definitely see what you're getting at, and if it weren't for these other sets that are being pulled off shelves, like the police one, I would say there probably is someone, or Lego probably is thinking the same way you are. But but yeah, that's a very interesting subject to talk about, and I don't think I've talked about that on any of my episodes yet. So I think that's about all the time we have for this episode, but I'll let Ray talk about his social medias for just a minute, and then we'll wrap things up.
Well, first off, I do want to say a huge thank you for having me, and apologies to every single person I have offended with my personal views on Lego and the Lego company. I do have a genuine passion for the toy and the people. I really do love the people who are involved. So please don't rip me apart. I promise I didn't mean it. You can find me on the internet anywhere as Funny Figs. That's Figs. Figs, as in minifigs. I do custom minifig caricatures. That's where that comes from. So if you go to my website, you can order one, or send me an email, ray@funnyfigs.com. Hit me up on YouTube. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Instagram. I'm on TikTok, for God's sake. You can find me if you want to find me. I'm out there.
If he's on TikTok, he's everywhere else.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed to say I'm on TikTok.
That's the last place I'd look for you. Man.
I was told it was a good business decision.
You know what? It probably is. It's just not my cup of tea.
Oh, I don't use it for more than the second it takes to post it. I am not an active member.
I'll put it this way. And now this is another controversial thing. I'm not a white girl. So that's TikTok's not for me. But
fair enough.
But anyways, yeah, so he's on all the social medias. I'll have some stuff linked below where you can check him out and his work. It's all pretty awesome. And thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And hopefully I'll have more of these podcasts coming to you soon. Sorry for the long delay in between normal episodes. It's been hard to find some guests and for other reasons, but I'm glad to be doing another one. So thank you all very much, and I will talk to you all later. Have a great day and a wonderful week. Zbricks out.